The 2025 NFL Draft is just a few months away, and you know what that means? It's officially NFL mock draft season, and with that being said, today, I am sharing my post-Senior Bowl mock draft 2.0 ahead of the Super Bowl as we gear up for the 2025 NFL Combine, this mock draft 2.0. As always, you can find the full first-round mock draft, all 32 picks in its content, including exclusive player evaluations, positional rankings, NFL Draft, Zakria Sport, and a lot more. Again, you can find all of that on the 2025 NFL Draft class. As I've been saying, it's a very defensive, heavy NFL Draft class. It's led by Michigan's Mason Graham, the dominant interior defensive lineman. My number one overall prospect, currently followed by Abdul Carter at Penn State, who is into position to be the number two overall player on my NFL draft board. Either one of these two players should be the number one overall pick. In my opinion, in this draft class, they are followed by Michigan, defensive back Will Johnson, and Colorado athlete, wide receiver, corner, whatever he decides to do, Travis Hunter, the rare two-way talent, the Heisman Trophy winner from this past season. Now these four defenders are all expected to go, in my opinion, within the top 5 picks of the 2025 NFL Draft. I feel like at least one quarterback is going to get snuck in there, some way. Somehow, everybody already knows how I feel about the quarterback class, which is led by Cam Ward and Ish Shador Sanders. Currently, now barring any kind of craziness happening, maybe Jackson, Dart, Jayla, Milroe, somebody jumping up. I don't really see that happening. I do believe Shader Sanders and Cam Ward will be the two top quarterback prospects in this draft class. There's a lot of hype around Shader Sanders, possibly going to the New York Giants. A lot of hype out there for Ward in that particular spot. There's a lot of hype for either one of these two players being picked number one overall in this particular draft, just based on need at, the highest level position in football, the quarterback position, just for comparison's sake. If either one of these two guys were to have entered last year's QB class, they would have both been QB5 or QB6 in last year's class alone, so that's how I feel about this particular draft class. Some other people feel a lot differently now. Beyond Shador Sanders and Cam Ward, there are a couple of other quarterback names to keep an eye on. Throughout this process, Jackson Dart being one of those. A lot of people are hyped up on him, potentially sneaking into the first round. The late part of the first round of this draft class, Jalen Milroe being a guy that I've seen. People even say that he could jump up into the top 15, top 10 picks of this class. I don't think that's going to happen. Quinn Ewers is also a part of this draft class. So is Kyle McCord. Kyle McCord is a sneaky quarterback to keep an eye on. Also keep an eye out for Ohio State. Quarterback Will Howe, the transfer from Kansas State, just had that monster run in the college football playoff. I do think that he's a guy that could absolutely elevate as we get closer to the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, several players went out and elevated their draft stock after dominant performances down in Mobile, Alabama at the Senior Bowl. Two players you're going to notice right away here in the top 10 of this mock draft. 2.0 Mike Green, the edge rusher out of Marshall, and Shamar Stewart, the edge rusher out of Texas. A and M, both of these players had excellent weeks down in Mobile, Alabama, and both players could absolutely be drafted in the top 10 picks of the 2025 NFL Draft. All right, so let's dive into this mock draft 2.0. And with the number one overall pick, we have the Tennessee Titans, and they are going to select 10 State edge rusher Abdul Carter. Now, this is a bold move for the Tennessee Titans, a team that a lot of people are projecting that they're going to draft Shador Sanders or Cam Ward with this #1 overall pick, but in my opinion, you cannot pass on the talent of Abdul Carter or Mason Graham here at the top of the draft order. Now, this means that the Tennessee Titans are going to move forward for one more year with Will Levis, a quarterback. Maybe they kick the tires in the trade market in the off-season, whatever the case may be. This is an absolute home run, choosing Abdul Carter out of Penn State, now with the #2 overall pick the Cleveland Browns. They are going to select Michigan interior defensive lineman Mason Graham. Now the Browns are going to land arguably the best defender in this draft class. They're going to pair him with Myles Garrett. It's going to create one of the most dominant defensive fronts.